Let's make this toddler bag for our favorite customer. This Hello Kitty bag is the small size and the tie-dye is the larger size. The way you make them is the same. This bag is very easy for a beginner to make, so if you've never made a bag, this is a perfect opportunity for you to start. This pattern will teach you the basics of constructing a bag and doesn't have any of the complex elements that make it more challenging to make a bag. This bag is very easily scaled for an adult size as well. All right, feel free to screenshot here for the sizes for either the large or the small tote bag so that you can have a cut list. So I start by cutting out my main fabric pieces. I did 10-inch by 10-inch squares. This pattern is very easy to adjust, so you can cut different sizes. Just make sure that you adjust the lining and the interfacing as well. For the straps, I cut them 4 inches wide, and then I used the width of fabric, so I made them 22 inches long. I could get 2 of them out of one width of fabric. You certainly can make changes to this if you want them to be a little bit longer. Once I've cut the straps out, I'm going to iron them into quarters. So I will fold them in half, iron that, and then I will fold them in on themselves. And this will enclose all of the raw edges. And it also makes this bag enough structure in the strap that I can use it without interfacing. If you want a little bit more structure to your strap, you certainly can add interfacing. However, I do not, and it works out on this bag. Next, it's time to put the interfacing onto my fabric. Here are the directions that come with my interfacing, so you'll want to follow the directions of the interfacing you use. Fusible interfacing will have a bumpy side that you apply towards the fabric. That allows it to fuse once heated. Mine has me putting a damp cloth over the interfacing before fusing it, but not all interfacing will call for that in the instructions. Here's what the interfacing looks like when it is not already on the fabric. I chose it because it's got a nice flow to it and it moves nicely, but it certainly isn't the only interfacing option for this bag. Here you can see the fabric without the interfacing and how it just kind of rumples and it doesn't have any structure. And then I've already added the interfacing to this panel and you can see how it has a lot more structure. It doesn't quite wrinkle as well, but it still has nice flow and movement. This bag would absolutely work with a thicker interfacing as well. So if you want to use a fusible fleece, it will definitely work in this project. Here we have all of our pieces ready to go. We have 2 main body pieces and we have 2 lining pieces. I've added the interfacing to the back of all 4 of those. Both of the straps have been folded in on themselves to enclose all of the raw edges, so they are actually in quarters. It's 4 inches wide, but once you get done doing all of your ironing, it'll be an inch wide each. In preparation to box the corners, we need to use a ruler and mark out 1-inch squares out of the bottom of all 4 panels. Once you have all of the corners marked, you can cut them out in any way you feel comfortable. I have used either just scissors or I've used a rotary cutter with a ruler. So whichever way you feel the most comfortable, just try to do it as accurately as you can. So this is what we're looking for to make those boxed corners. We just need those notches out of all 4 of the panels, both the lining and the exterior pieces. Now I'm going to top stitch along the edges of the straps. Top stitching about 1/8 of an inch from each side and the whole length of the strap. Now it's time to match right sides together of the exterior and lining fabrics. First, you'll begin sewing the lining fabric along both of the sides, and along the bottom, you will leave an opening about the width of your hand so that you'll be able to flip the bag at the end. Make sure you do not sew into the notches we created for our boxed corners. We will sew those next. Now sew the exterior fabric along the sides and the bottom. Just don't sew into the boxed corners. To make the boxed corners, you will open the notches and match the side and bottom seams together. Pin this well and sew across here. Do this for all 4 of your corners. Now we need to attach the straps to the exterior of the bag. Center the bag and then place the straps so that they are 2 inches from each side or 4 inches from each other. Pin the straps to both sides, ensuring that they are even, and then sew them on to the exterior of the bag. Now it's time to assemble the bag. We are going to make it so that all of the wrong sides are facing towards us. You'll place the exterior of the bag inside the lining so that you will have right sides together and wrong sides facing out for you to see. Match the side seams and then pin or clip all the way around the top of the bag. Now we'll sew all the way around at the top of the bag, and you'll notice here that my lining is open in the bottom, and that is how we are going to flip the bag. Once you're done sewing, you can gently reach into the lining and flip the bag. Here it is with them just pulled apart. Now I'm going to work the lining into the exterior of the bag. While it would be easier to sew the lining shut at this point, I also have spent too much time with my seam ripper, and I know that is not a good idea for me. After getting the lining into place, I'm going to use an iron to make a nice crisp edge. A crucial step in making any bag look as professional as possible is to top stitch. This ensures the lining stays in place, and it also gives the bag a nice professional and crisp top. Once everything else is done, I will close up the lining. Experience and my seam ripper tell me that I always do this absolutely last in case I've made some other error. Once you stitch this closed, your bag will be done. The great thing about this pattern is you can make it any larger or smaller and use the exact same techniques. It's a great option for a large adult size tote bag or a smaller child's. Once you've got the hang of it, you could also add a pocket in the inside. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I love your engagement. I'm Black Hill Sewing and I hope you have a fabulous day.